If you're just tuning in, I had you run off to maybe find a blanket. Again, no worries if you can't access one easily, but I am sitting on my blanket just to help me release in my low back. I'm having my hands down on my knees for a little bit of grounding. Sometimes we talk about hands face up to attract a little energy, but this time of night, I prefer hands face down. We're still finding release in the tops of the shoulders, softness in the face. We're halfway through the week. We're trying to let go of everything that came today, the week before. Not trying to think ahead. Looking to be truly in the present moment, whether that's by focusing on breath or calling to mind an intention. Looking for places in the body to soften and relax. As we practice tuning in to that one focal point, whether it's breath, a word, a phrase, a sound. And talk about letting go of the external, and at home there might be noises, pets, neighbors. Such good practice for letting go of everything external. Learning to really train your brain around one specific thing, breath or intention. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, audible sigh out. Inhale, fill. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Finding length in the spine, making length in the left side of the neck. Allow chin to fall across chest. Left to left, a hold. Now making that space, that length in right side. Tuck and roll. And the next time left ear is on left shoulder, I want you to hold. I haven't done holds in a while. So take your left hand, bring it to your right temple if you're comfortable. If you'd prefer to hold with the weight of gravity, by all means. Now I always give you the option. You could take right hand out, coming deeper along sort of this trapezius muscle here. Or something else I really like is you could sit on the top of your hand. Another nice way to increase the stretch. Or you could do none of these things. Truly, whatever feels good for your neck. Inhale a little length. And then we'll release right hand. If you're holding with left, release that chin across. And a couple half circles. And next time right is on right will hold. So your options: gravity, right fingers left temple, maybe. Regardless of whether you do this, your left hand could come out or under your seat. As long as you're making space in your left side neck, you're doing this pose right. Inhale to find lengthened spine, exhale to release tension. And then right releases, left returns to neutral, chin comes across. Just a couple half circles to work everything out. Maybe a couple full circles, or sticking with half, really. Whatever's working for your body. Full circles come opposite direction, half stick with half. And then inhale, come up tall. Exhale completely. Inhale to sweep hands overhead, nice big reach. Take left hand, right knee, right hand behind you. So as you can see, I'm still on my blanket, or maybe you can't see. My right hand's on my blanket, but I'm still using my right arm to keep my spine nice and lifted. My left hand is providing a little bit of leverage. Every inhale, I'm zipping up taller. Every exhale, I'm taking a look over my shoulder. I love the look over the shoulder because it really opens up the neck. It accentuates that work we've been doing. Stay for one more round of breath. Big inhale. Exhale, maybe a deeper twist. And the inhale, you unwind, sweep hands overhead. Right hand comes to left knee, left hand comes behind. Every inhale brings length into the spine. I'm pulling my belly button towards my spine to really release the back. Core strengthening while releasing the back. And I love this look over the shoulder because I carry so much tension in my neck, and this helps release it. So inhale, lift. Exhale, twist open. One more round of breath. And then the inhale brings hands overhead. We'll exhale, hands to the mat, and find our tabletop. So we've twisted our spine, we've rolled our neck. Let's take just a couple sets of cat and cow. Inhaling, getting a little compression. And exhaling, a nice big rounding into the spine. Just get lost in connecting breath to movement. Inhaling and exhaling to round and arc. You can flow through these two poses as slow as you like. Take one more complete round of cats and cows. And on the third breath, whether it's an inhale or an exhale, find your neutral spine. Take a nice spread through your fingers. Give your toes a curl under and find your downward facing dog. We spent almost no time with the calves, so take a little time to press your heels to the mat and to open up the backs of your legs. Paddling and pressing. Take your knees to the mat. Uncurl your toes. I'm going to switch things up and put you here in a child's pose. Fingers reaching, forehead down. How does that feel in the spine? Lots of space in the low back. Focusing on breathing. Take your left hand over toward the left corner of your mat and do the same with your right. And I'm actually going to put my right hand on my left. I'm going to get some right side body opening. I'm going to set my forehead back down on the mat. Pick up the hands, walk them center. We're staying here for just a beat, just to neutralize. And then I'm going to walk my right hand towards the right corner, and I'm going to place my left on top of it just to go deeper into this left side body stretch. And I'll place my forehead back on the mat. Take a little walk center. Inhale up through a table. Spread through the fingers. Take pressure out of the wrist. Press into thumb index. Again, give the toes a curl under. Back to downward facing. Just a pedal or two on each side. And then we'll walk our feet to our hands. We'll inhale up half. We'll hinge. And we'll hang. Whether that's hands on elbows or interlaced behind head or dropping hands. Tonight, I'm going to interlace behind. We did all that great neck opening. Now I want to open up the back, a little press. I'm going to take a little sway just to really release my low back. Release the hold. Drop the hand. Inhale, find your halfway lift, flatten your back. Reach your ears out of your shoulders. We're going to skip standing, take our hands to the mat and find our high plank. Nice strong setup. And a strong setup could be just as strong on the knees. Lower to the belly. Uncurl the toes, press the tops of the feet in. Inhale, little back bend. Barely any help from my hands. I lose almost no height when I take my hands up. Staying for an extra round of breath. And then we'll curl our toes, lift our feet, and find our downward facing. A little pedal. Exhale your way to the top. Inhale, a half lift here. Exhale, a big hinge. Since this is our first time coming to standing, make it a nice, slow roll. Head, of course, will come up last. So just a strong Tadasana or mountain pose here, grounded through your feet, shoulders short back. And let's get moving. So inhale, brings hands up. Exhale, hinges. Inhale, half lift. Step back, high plank, and lower through your flow. All or halfway this time around. Inhale, an up dog or cobra. And we'll meet in downward facing. Really press through those thumbs and index fingers, as well as the pads of all your fingers. Take pressure out of your wrists a couple pounds. Exhale to the top. Inhale, come up half. Take a dive, exhale, and inhale sweeps you all the way up. Exhale a back bend, lift your heart up. Inhale, center. Exhale, hinge. I'm going to switch it up on you. Hands to the mat, even if that means a lot of bending your knees. Your right toes are facing forward. Step your left foot back. Right away into low lunge. We're going to drop our left knee. Uncurl our left toes. Press to the top of the foot. Take pressure out of left knee. Right knee stacked over ankle. Inhale, come up. It's a big pose early on in our practice, so if you prefer to take your Anjaneyasana here or here, by all means. Relax the shoulders. Inhale, fill. Exhale, frame. Give the left toes a curl under. Right foot finds downward facing dog. Take your knees, your chest, and your chin to the mat, the 8-point chaturanga. Send your feet back, tops of feet press in. Inhale up a cobra as high as you'd like to take it. Give the toes a curl, lift the seat. Take your left foot between your hands. Low lunge. Right knee drops. We're going to open up right hip flexor. Right toes uncurl. Press through top of foot to take pressure out of the knee. Hands never have to leave the mat. You know that. So they could come to your knee or overhead. Anjaneyasana for the hip flexor. Big in, frame, right toes curl under, step that foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale brings you up, and exhale a back bend. Either a sun, sea, or a variation on a moon salutation. Inhale, center, exhale, hinge. Come up half, high plank. Lower all or half, that doesn't matter. Tops of feet press into mat. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Give the toes a curl. Lift the seat. Downward facing. Inhale, send your right toes up. Get a nice reach going. Step your right foot between your hands. Keep your left heel lifted. Bring your hands overhead. Crescent lunge. Remember, we're not pulling our arms down. We're also not leaving our shoulders shrugged up to our ears. Relaxed. Knee stacked, hip flexor open. Left hand's going to go forward. Right fingers are going to go back. A little balance challenge. Twisting from our core. Core is engaged. We're looking back at right fingers. Bring right fingers forward. Take both hands back overhead. Sink nice and deep. Ready? We're going to come off of this back leg into our right leg. So we're going to take a step or drag our feet across the mat. Finding airplane pose. Chest is lifted. Shoulder blades drawing together. Right knee soft. Right foot grounded at heel and ball. Take the hands to the heart. Let's make it a little harder. Find warrior 3. Keep the right knee soft. Connection in heel and ball. Lengthen to the spine. Engage your core. Step your left toes back. Land in your crescent. Hands overhead. Shoulders soft. Big inhale. Exhale, frame your foot. Set your left knee down. Work your left toes back. Uncurl your toes. Heel toe your foot to the right. And bring right hand inside, lizard pose. I've got my knee stacked on top of my ankle. You could stay tall. You could play with rocking the knee away. You could plant your hands, find a bit of stillness. You could bring your forearms to the mat and go deeper and find stillness. Usually I'd offer you a block. If you don't have one, stay a little higher. You'll still get a great stretch. Take a few moments to just focus on your breath. All your focus comes to intention or the steady rise and fall of inhales and exhales. Any other thought clears out completely. Inhale, I'll press to your palms. Bring the foot to center, frame it. Give the left toes a curl under. Step right foot back, find your high plank, nice and strong. Lower with control. Uncurl your toes, tops of feet press into mat. Inhale, back bend. Toes curl, seat lifts. A couple petals, a little active rest here in your downward facing. Inhale, sit up. Exhale to the top. Half lift. Take a dive. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, back bend. We're going to have you inhale to center and exhale, hands through heart center. Mountain pose. More than just standing, a little energy up through your feet. Again, shrug shoulders back just like we did at the beginning. Lift up your chest. All right, let's move again. Make sure you're at the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, hinge. Come up half. High plank. I like to lower to chaturanga, but you know you can come to your belly so long as your elbows are in. Toes uncurl. Inhale your back bend. Toes curl under, downward facing. A little pedal. Left toes inhale up. Left foot comes between your hands. We're finding our crescent. Right heel's lifted, hands come overhead. Knees stacked on top of ankle. I can't stress it enough. We're not forcing our arms down. We're just not introducing tension into the tops of our shoulders. Take a big inhale. Exhale brings right hand forward, left fingers back. We're balancing. Use your core. Engage your core. Belly button pulling into spine as you look back at your left fingers. Inhale, left hand forward, both hands overhead. So as I showed you before, when you come onto your left foot, you can kind of bring your right toes across the mat. Though if you want a trickier transition, step off completely. Find that grounding in the heel and the ball. Give your right toe a little point. We want a nice little arc in our low back. Shoulder blades draw together, grounding in heel and ball of foot. See how I have this arc in my back? Then we take our hands to our heart center. We lower our chest more to parallel. Keeping knees soft, don't lock it out. Here's our warrior three. Right foot steps back. Land in your crescent. Ooh, hands overhead, shoulders soft. Big inhale, fills. Exhale, frames foot. Right foot goes back, right knee drops. Right toes uncurl. Left foot. Heel toes to left edge as you bring left hand inside. Our lizard, our big inside hip stretch. You know, you can kind of rock your knee away. And let me flip so you can see what I'm doing. So you can rock away, or you could find stillness. Depending on where you're at in your hips tonight, you could even find stillness on your forearms. No worries if you don't want to. Most importantly, you're just breathing through this pose. Clearing out head with every exhale. Alright. Take a little inhale to your palms. Give your foot a heel toe to center. Frame it with your left hand. Give your right toes a curl under. We're going to find our downward facing with seat lifted. Skipping the flow. A little pedal of our heels to the mat. Mindfully pressing through thumb and index. Walk or step to the front. Inhale up half. Exhale a dive. Inhale up all the way. Exhale your back bend, open your chest. Inhale center. And exhale through your heart. One more balance challenge, and we've already been doing some balancing. So take that rock on the left. We're going to start on the left. See how my right foot, well you can't see because Oscar's in the way, is barely on the mat. That's how I'm finding the connection points in heel and ball. And I'm going to bring my right knee up, knee parallel with hip, but I'm not using my hip flexor. My core is totally engaged. My hands are going to come to my heart. It's like I'm growing roots through the heel and ball of my left foot. I'm going to put my gaze at a non-moving point on the floor. I'm going to give you the option to take your peace fingers, grip your big toe, and come out long. And if you say, no way, not today, that's fine. Keep that big stair step, but not using your hip flexor, totally your core. And we're going to open up. So if you're taking a stair step, this is what it looks like. If you've peace gripped your big toe, here's what it looks like. Right knee soft. I'm going to take left hand out, my counterbalance. My gaze is still forward at that non-moving point. Regardless of your variation, maybe you want to take a little look to the left. Core engaged. Don't use the hip flexor. Big inhale. Close it up. Set everything down. Take a couple big steps. It's a challenging little balance pose there. So shift all the weight into the right foot. Take the rock, roll the roots in the heel and the ball. Left knee comes up. Core engages. No hip flexor. It's tempting. Maybe a little bit of quad. No hip flexor. Hands to heart. Train your focus, your drishti, that sort of gaze at the floor, or maybe at the wall ahead of you, but choose an unmoving point.
option to grip your big toes and kick out long. Now's the time, right? If you wobble, you shake. If you fall out, no one sees you. And then open up, whether you're in stair step or whether you're holding big toe. Counterbalance with the right arm. Core is engaged. Doesn't matter how many times you fall out, when you get back in, you get that much stronger. You do that so many times and you become almost like a yogi superhero. Gaze over right front fingers. And then close it up. Drop left. Take a couple of steps. Tops of feet down. Alright. Step to the front of your mat. How do the legs feel? Inhale, come up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale up halfway. This is it. This is our final flow. You can always skip it, but this will be the last one. Stepping back into high plank. Lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Meet in downward facing. Paddle. Lower your hips, find your high plank, take a look ahead. I meant it, that was our last flow, but we are going to lower to our bellies with control. Hands by the sides, toes uncurled. We're going to warm our way up into a full locust pose. We're going to start with the front of the body. So exhale. Inhale, bring just your chest up. Draw your shoulder blades and your elbows together. Strength of your low back. Exhales give the body length. Inhales give you strength to come up even higher. We've got one more round of breath. You're stronger than you know. You got this. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower. Make the pillow. Bend your knees. Windshield wiper your feet. Take your legs long. Goal post your arms. See how my elbows are in line with my shoulders and my wrists in line with my elbows? I'm going to take my right cheek to the mat because we're going to do left side first. We're going to slide our left knee towards our left elbow. A little half crocodile or half frog. A nice big opening in the inside of the hip. Your only focus is on breath or intention. Take your left leg to meet your right, your chin or your forehead down, your arms by the sides. Actually, no, leave your arms underneath your head. We're going to work just the low body this time. So make a pillow for either your chin or your forehead using your hands. We're going to exhale. The inhale is going to bring up just the legs as we kind of kiss our heels together. So even if you have a really great locust pose, I love breaking it down this way. We're isolating different parts of our back and really building on our strength. So exhales are always finding length, and inhales are always taking you up higher. Think of that extra oxygen as a little boost. Give those heels a little kiss together. Inhale up, your biggest expression, lower. Your hands are already on the pillow, now you just have to simply bend and windshield wiper. Arms goal pose, left cheek to the mat. This time we're taking it on the right side. And I'll do a little flip so you can see me. Knee up towards elbow, left cheek on the mat for a hint of neck stretch. And then just turn off the body completely, a little mini savasana, just focusing on your breath and clearing your thoughts. Alright, yogis, full locust, right leg meets left, chin or forehead comes down, arms are by the sides. This is where we lift everything but our hip bones off the mat. So exhale, inhale, come up. Now if your navel's on the mat or your belly, no worries. But the idea is to really kind of bring everything up. The chest, the legs. We're drawing shoulder blades in, kissing heels. You can even interlace your hands if that helps. Your back so strong. Inhale's helping you come up higher, that boost of oxygen. Exhale's a little release, a little length. You got one more inhale. Fill up. Pillow with the hands. Bend. Windshield wiper. Legs long. Palms under shoulders. Inhale, come up. Table. And I always like to follow up deep back bends with a child. Some serious rounding and opening. Forehead down. If you wanted, you could take your palms together, your fingers together, find a little shark fin. Might feel lovely in the shoulders. Forehead's down, a nice sense of grounding as we just focus on breathing. Take your palms to the mat if they weren't there, and inhale up to a tabletop. Alright, we're going to take one set of cat and cows, 2 sets. So an inhale, lift, and exhale, arc. An inhale, lift, and exhale, arc. And then back to neutral. We've done so much work to open our hips. I want to keep going with that flow. In a regular class, I'd give you all the props for this frog pose. Tonight, we're going to modify by not going as deep into it. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to show you this from both sides, and we're going to keep it really safe. If you feel any pain or pinching out there, I want you to come out. So I'm going to show you my legs first. I'm going to try and keep my ankle in line with my knee, and my knee in line with my hip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly inch out. So see, knee, hip, ankle, knee. 2 right angles. And now I'm going to flip. So if I had you here in a regular yoga class, I'd have a bolster and maybe even 2 blocks underneath you. Tonight we don't have that. Or at least most of us don't. I don't even have a bolster. But we're getting this really big inside hip stretch. The things we've been working on in that half frog and in the lizard pose. Now, for me, I have pretty tight hips. But I'm going to still try and come onto my forearms. And some of you might be doing that. Others might be right up here on the palms, and that's okay. Just keep checking in. If your alignment's good and you feel safe, you feel a little sweet discomfort but no pain, perfect. Stay up as high as you need. Try and breathe softness into your hips. Exhale, clear the hips, the head of any tension. We sort of find our edge and then we forget that we're there. We try and concentrate just on being internally focused. If you came down to elbows, a gentle press to palms, and we're going to inch our knees in a little bit at a time. Ooh. First, just coming into a neutral table. How do those inside hips feel? Inhale, look up. Exhale and arc. One more. Back to neutral, head to your seat. So you might really be feeling it on the insides of your hips. As sort of a counter pose, we're going to come to the outsides of your hips. This is why I asked you to grab a blanket. Again, no worries if you don't have one. I'll show you how to modify without. A couple ways you can use that blanket though. Sometimes just bringing it under your seat, sort of tilting yourself forward is all that you need. We're going to find some half shoelaces or full. Right knee drops on top of left. For some hips, that might be it. You might feel it. And that blanket kind of pushes you forward into the pose perfect. If you want to go deeper, you could tuck left underneath, bringing your left heel by your right hip, knees stacked. So you could still be using that blanket to sort of shift your hips forward. Or if your stack isn't quite so perfect, you could use the blanket the way I would have you in, say, a double pigeon, where you're adding a little extra cushion. So wherever it would serve you best, if you have no blanket, a half shoelace with your left leg long will do you just fine. You're still going to get that hip stretch. Alright, so our shoelace for the outsides of our hips. And we're kind of doing the exact opposite of what we did in the frog. Big inhale. And only if you're comfortable, start a little exhale forward. That should deepen the stretch in the right side. Remember, those exhales clear physical tension out of the body, mental tension out of the brain. Inhales, tell body it's okay to relax into the pose. It's okay to let go on the exhale. And I should say for you folks here in a half, you're in a beautiful place, but be mindful of your hamstring. This will be intense. Let's inhale, walk it back up, unwind. So if your left leg's tucked, that comes undone first, then right. We're going to bend into both of our knees. I love rinsing with a windshield wiper. Alright, right leg long. Then left drops on top. So as you can see, I have a blanket behind to sort of help me ease into this pose, bringing my hips up. Again, if you're coming into the full, bending right underneath, and you say it would serve me better to sort of fill up any gaps between my knees, that's perfectly fine. If you have no blanket, no worries, maybe you want to stick with a half. We are trying to keep our knees stacked, regardless if we're in full or half shoelaces. Once you're in a nice comfy place that's safe for both hips and knees, then we play with that little hinge. And that's the great thing about the hinge forward, you're in control. One day your torso might be rested completely on top of your leg. Another day you might be up a little higher. Honor your body where it's at today. Focus on your breath or your intention. You told yourself, you give yourself this hour, so truly enjoy it. Be present for every moment. Inhale, come back up, nice and slow, right leg long, left follows, knees bend, windshield wipers. Alright, head to the back, keeping knees bent. Find some release on the back. Take your feet to the very edges of your mat. Press into your big toes as you let your knees fall together in the center. Big release for the low back. Making space by sort of rotating our hips inwards. Take your right hand to your belly, your left over your heart. Take a few moments to just let your breath rise and fall. Bring your hands to your sides. Take your knees apart. Heel toe the feet center. Give your knees a hug, a nice big squeeze.
How he's like a little rock. Give your knees a hug, forehead to knees, and extend long on your mat. Legs come long. I'm going to bring my palms down, and I always say I prefer to sit on my hands, though some of you might just have your hands very near your seat, and that's okay too. We're going to inhale our chest up, and we're going to find a fish pose. I'm going to walk my elbows in, kind of draw my shoulder blades in, throat open to ceiling, crown reaching towards the mat. Big open chest, open heart, making room for compassion and love and all sorts of good things, but still keeping focus on breath. Inhale your eyes up, take a little look ahead, and come down. We're going to skip our pigeon poses. We kind of took our shoelace in lieu of our pigeon poses. We'll draw our right knee into our chest. We'll give it a nice hug and squeeze, bringing it over to the right armpit. And then left hand will take leg across the body. So we're keeping that bent leg shape. I like to set my heel on the mat. If that's not accessible, it could be floating. Left hand on right knee, just a little bit of pressure. Right fingers reach. You face ceiling for a neutral neck. You look to the right for a stretch, a deeper stretch in the neck and the top part of the spine. Bring your head center, your leg center. Give your leg a nice big hug, and exhale your leg long. Inhale your left knee and give it a squeeze over towards your left armpit. And then right hand takes it across body. Maybe you set your foot towards the mat, maybe you just hold on to your right hand. Left fingers reaching ceiling or look to the left. Head center, leg center. Give your left leg a hug. Take your right knee up to meet your left. A little squeeze to open up the low back, a little rock. Draw your forehead up to your knees, big hug. And then release. Savasana. Take up a lot of space on your mat. Let everything fall open. Take a little visual scan up and down the body. If you're holding any tension, maybe you give that place a little squeeze. Tense it up even further and then release. Give the ankles a roll. And then sink deep into your mat.
Turn the body off. Go past your breath or your intention, aware but unfocused. Inhale awareness back, deep breath. Next breath goes into fingers and toes, providing a bit of movement. Roll, wrists, ankles. Take a look right and a look left. Eventually reaching toes. If you're going to bed after this, maybe just a gentle length, not a true wake-up stretch. I'm rolling to my left, but you roll to your right. A nice little bit of grounding to send you into the rest of your evening. And then inhale your way to easy seat. Dear yogis, I'm sorry my video looks like it's on a little bit of a delay, but I will say, as always, thank you for sharing your practice with me, and namaste.